So now we're up to Zion. The Rebbe spoke about what took place with Yaakov, the various different steps that took place by Yaakov. The Rebbe now is going to bring out that everything that took place by Yaakov actually takes place by all of the Yidden. The Yidden have a special connection, Bechlal, to Torah and to everything that's in the Torah, but all the actions of Yaakov especially uh, apply to every Yid. A Yid, when he goes down from a neshama who's up there in Be'er Sheva, goes down to Choron, that's presented by Yaakov's leaving Be'er Sheva. And just like the avodah that Yaakov did when he went out of Be'er Sheva, so is the avodah of every Yid in a similar way. So let's look inside in Ois Zayin. V'hinei gimul inyonim hanal shehoyu b'Yaakov. Behold, the three above mentioned matters that we discussed by Yaakov. Number one, what are the three matters? First, we talk about Aleph Yitziosim Be'er Sheva l'Choron. Leaving Be'er Sheva, going to Choron. Metaphorically, that's the descent of the neshama coming from Be'er Sheva, coming down into this world, which is a Choron. Number two by Yaakov was Avedosoi la'achar hayitzia mi Be'er Sheva. After he left Be'er Sheva, so it says Vayikach ma'avnei hamokim goimer. So we learned before, he takes from the stones of the place. That's the avodas habirunim that the a yid has to do by in this world, collecting, and even to the level of daimim, and even to making an impact, to making a dir b'tachtonim. But through sha'idei tefillah shaloi nasi ha'even hazois, through Yaakov's prayer, this stone shalokach mavnei hamokim that he has taken from the stones of the place. He took the stones of the place, so then that stone became the Beis Elikim, became the house of God. Yeshnam gam b'kol echad v'echad miYisrael. This exists also by every one and one of the Jewish people, has these three steps transpiring by them. Why do we say that because this happened to Yaakov, that means that this also takes place by every Yid? Is the Maisa Avos Siman Unisinas Koyach Lebonim. That what happens is a rule, that what happens to the father is a sign, and it gives strength for the children. Kinal Siv Beis, as we said earlier in Siv Beis. But the Rebbe says, Ubefrat ha'inyonim de Yaakov, is specifically the matters of Yaakov. Meaning that which took place with Yaakov has more connection to everybody, even more than the other of us. Why? Because the kivon sheshufre de Yaakov me'ein shufre de Adam Harishon. The Gemara says that the beauty of Yaakov is similar to the beauty of Adam Harishon. The Gemara goes through the beauty of different generations, how each one is, but Yaakov's beauty, it goes all the ways up to almost like the beauty of Adam Harishon. Of course, Adam Harishon was created by Hashem himself, so he was beautiful. So Yaakov had similar beauty like the beauty of Adam Harishon. And therefore, b'nishmasei klula mikol haneshamas shebi Yisrael. The neshama of Yaakov is included from all Jewish souls, kinishmas Adam Harishon, just like the soul of Adam Harishon, which was included from all other souls. So Yaakov, who is Me'ain, has the beauty of Adam Harishon, has all souls in it. So therefore, Hare Avedosa Shel Yaakov. Therefore, the service of Yaakov, Yikach ma'avnei mokim goimer. That for him, when he took the service that he took from the stones of the place, in the sinas koyach lebanim, this gives a power to the children with more force, with more strength, because Yaakov has a special connection to every Yid beyond the regular connection. Because of Shufre the Yaakov means Shufre the Odom Rishon, because he's connected with Odom Rishon. Odom Rishon includes all Yidden, so there's Yaakov too. So what is the idea of the Avodah of a Yid which corresponds to the Avodah of Yaakov? Well, Inyan who. So what is the idea over here? There's three things that we talked about Yaakov. The Vayetze Yaakov me Beersheba vayelech Chorono. Yaakov goes from Beersheba, goes to Choron, Koyi al Yeridas haneshama beguf. That talks about, that refers to the descent of the soul into the body. The soul sheyordo meigra rama Beersheba. The soul descended from a high, from a rooftop, which is Beersheba, Libira Amikta, to a deep pit, which is Chorona. Ukemoi sheyakov, bichdei sheyuchal laleches lechorin. Nimshach loikoich naliyosef. Before we said that Yaakov, in order for him to be able to be successful, to go to Choron, and to be successful, he got the greater power to help Yaakov in his journey with Lavan and Esav. So he got a greater power, Inyan, as we learned, Save Yeshua's Yaakov. That command the Yeshua, salvation of Yaakov, Kinal Sivhei, as we learned earlier, Sivhei. Al derech zehu gam bevayelech chorono, shebekol echad ve'echad Yisrael. A similar way is also going to Choron, which is by each and every Jewish person. Which before he descends, the neshama descends below to this deep abyss, a deep pit in the world, the neshama gets extra koyach, just like over there, Yaakov got Save Yeshua's Yaakov, a Yid gets, before going down to this deep abyss, because Shazehu Inyan Bayele Charona, going to Charon is like going into a deep pit, because it's very, very low. It's a place to struggle, which the light of Hashem is not there. And you go down. So the similar, when a Yid comes down to the world to struggle, in this world, you give to her, to hear is given. To the soul is given a special power, shetucha laved avedoso, that she should be able to do her work, bebirur haguf v'nefesh habahamis v'chelka ba'olam, to sort out the body and the animal soul and her portion in the world. Uki yedua be'inyan mashbiyin oisoi tihi tzadik v'al tihi rasha. This is part of the process before the neshama is born. It says that she gets a shavua, that she should be a tzaddik and not a rasha. That is the extra koyach that you give the neshama, so that it should come down in this world to sort out the guf and nefesh bahamis and this portion of the world. It gets a shavua, it gets a koyach from above. And mashbin, as the Rebbe will say, has all three meanings: satisfied and swearing, shvua, satisfying, and also sheva. All come from Be'er Sheva. Ki yudua be'inyan mashbin oisoiti tzadik v'alti rosha. Bezehu mashikosu vayetzi Yaakov me Be'er Sheva. That's why it says Yaakov goes from Be'er Sheva. Be'er Sheva is the shavua, is that additional koyach that the neshama gets. Shapirush mi Be'er Sheva. What does it mean Be'er Sheva? Masha mashbiin oisoiti tzadik chulu. This that they swear to the neshama before it's born, tzadik, that's that the sinas koyach that the neshama gets. Sheyesh bazeh gimel pirushim. You have three explanations. Shvua, soiva, veshava. An oath, satisfying, and shava, which is all the idea that the neshama gets koyach, gets that shvua, that satisfaction, that shava, that it needs in order to be able to be mevader the body, the nefesh habamis, and the portion of the world kivur become a mekoymes, as explained in many places. That's the specific koyach that we have for the service of the neshama below. So the Rebbe explained over here that the inyonim that took place by Yaakov really take place by every year. The Rebbe started off explaining that special connection with Yaakov, with every Yid, but explained the first part that when you go out from Choron means, go out from Beersheba, going to Choron means when the neshama goes from her high place, from the Igra Rama, and has to come down to the deep abyss to this world. And in order to be able to be successful, just like by Yaakov, he got the Shin Ayin Hey Nahorin, the Tzam Yeshus Yaakov. We get the Mashbiin, and that's his Vayetze Yaakov, Mi Beersheba, we go from the level of Shem. And then we have to talk about the other two parts of Yaakov, the fact that Yaakov did the avodah of the avonim, and then that he made it into a Beis Elikim that took place. So how is this an avodah saneshama? Ches. V'hinei avodah saneshama b'yiridos lamato. The service of the soul when it comes down below, he bichlolus b'shnei inyonim. Generally speaking, there's two matters. There's one aspect in which the neshama gets levushim and gets elevated, the soul. The other thing is to elevate the world around you. So there is the part of the neshama, and there's the part of taking care of influencing your surroundings and making this world a dira b'tachtonim, making it into a beis elikim. We'll see. Aleph, number one is limud ha-Torah v'kimud ha-mitzvahs. Number one, the avodah is to study Torah and doing mitzvahs. What is accomplished through study Torah and kiyum mitzvahs? Dal yidei limud ha-Torah v'kiyum ha-mitzvahs lemato davke misalis ha-neshama lemaylo yoser mikmoisha hoyso koydem biridoso. That way the neshama is elevated more than it was before it descended. Kiyudua, the neshama through learning Torah and kiyum mitzvahs is an elevation for the soul, as great as the soul was before, but it's yirida tzorech aliyah through Torah mitzvahs over here in this world, it gets elevated. Ukiyudua, and that we know the ha-Torah mitzvah shalamato davke, that it's specifically, it's only the Torah mitzvahs below that are done in this world. Nasim levush la-neshama began Eden. They become the garment for the soul in Gan Eden. What does it mean, a garment for the soul in Gan Eden? Shal yodom hi maseges v'nenis me'ir ein sof. Through these garments, through the Torah mitzvahs that he did, that the neshama is able to grasp and able to enjoy from the Ein Sof. So basically, what does this tell us? This tells us that the neshama is impacted from this work that we do in this world, and dafka in this world, because you don't get a levush for the neshama elsewhere. It's the Torah mitzvahs that we do in this world. So it means that that has the capacity to elevate the neshama. The neshama doesn't have it on its own or inherently. It needs the Torah mitzvahs that we do over here below. So that's number one. So that is the benefit of this soul. But ubeis, the second step is habirur the guf, v'nefesh habahamis v'chalka ba'olam. That is to sort out the body and the animal soul and the portion that he has in the world. The world, to change the world. Shezen nase al yidei kiyum hamitzvos. That takes place through the observance of mitzvahs. Observance of mitzvahs, we change the world, to change the nefesh habahamis. That's the impact we have. So we can say even more. This is talking about being mevarer the gufs through mitzvahs. There is another and more al yidei ha'avoda d'chol ma'asecha yu l'shem shamayim. All what you do should be for the sake of heaven, which basically, it's not a mitzvah. You're not doing a mitzvah, but you are doing your regular activity. It's ma'asecha, but you're doing it for the sake of heaven. That's even more mevarer the kuf v'nefesh habahamis. It's not even a mitzvah, and still you're doing it l'shem shamayim. Ubefrat, and more specific in detail, al yidei b'chol drachecho da'ehu, that in all of your ways, know Hashem. In anything you do, you see, you know Hashem from your regular mundane ways, which in a way is greater than even masecho that l'shem shamayim. The loy rakshas yosei divrei rishus. This is even more than masecha l'shem shamayim. Over there, masecha l'shem shamayim means that you do optional matters that are not mitzvahs. You do divrei rishus, tia l'shem shamayim. It should be for the sake of heaven. But so you still have your actions, and your action is for Shem Shamayim, so you bring in the Hashem into your regular action. But B'chol Drachecho De'eyu means the Loi Rakshasi Yosi Divrei Rishus Ti L'Shem Shamayim. Not just that what you're doing should be for the sake of heaven, El Shagam Be'em Gufa, but also in them, in your regular activity, B'chol Drachecho Yiyeh De'eyu. You should be able to reach the level of knowledge of Hashem. Das Belakus. You're getting knowledge and godliness through your ordinary mundane things. This level of das, shadas ulamaylo gam chokhmah, the level of das, the do'eyu that you get is even higher than chokhmah. K'mevur barucha behemshech eteru b'kam mekoyim is hemshech tofresh ayin. In many places, how the level of das reaches even higher than chokhmah, which means the person is the yud, is before is already chokhmah the neshama, but this is even higher. And this is the two things by Yaakov's prayer that we equate to these two levels of elevation of the neshama and also being mevarer the world that took place by Yaakov that we're saying now for every neshama. B'zeu v'nosa li lechem lechem ubeged lilbish. He will give me food to eat and a garment to wear, v'shafti b'sholem el beis avi, and I will return in peace to my father's home. So lechem lechem ubeged lilbish, bread to eat and a garment to wear represents what? Give me bread to eat and garment to do this Torah mitzvahs. Kiyadua known, bread, food, which is internal, you consume the food, shetoyre lechem, umozin haneshama. Thus, that's the lechem. Nosanli lechem, lechem is Torah. V'amitzvahs, that he does hem levushim, the haneshama, that's levushim. And b'shavti b'sholem, hu inyan avedas habirurim. And I will return in peace, meaning to come back and do the avodas habirur in the period of the guf nefesh habahamis. So now the Rebbe in Oisches explained the other two aspects in Yaakov. First, Vayetze, we had previously explained that he went from Beersheba, he went to Charan, and the avodah is like over there Yaakov's avoda in this world is lechem lechem lubeged lilvash, which is Torah and mitzvahs, one for being elevating the soul, and then shafti b'sholim. That's the avoda sabirurim. Oistes v'zeu shahavoda shel achrev vayetze Yaakov mi Beersheba vayelech harana. And this is now, it's very fitting what we learn in the Parsha, that after Yaakov goes out in Beersheba and vayelech harana, which we're teaching now, going to Haran, that the neshama comes from a very high place, comes down into this world. It's Yeridas HaNeshama Beguf, the descent of the neshama in the body. So what happens? We read Vayikach me'avnei hamokim goyim, he takes from the stone of the place. This is how it applies in the avodas ha'adam, in avodas Hashem, to the descent of the neshama in the body. That's the avodah that we do. The hine yadua, it's known shakavona biyeridas haneshama lamato. Hiloi bishvil haneshama. The intent, why did the neshama come down below? It's not because of the soul. Elo bichdei levarer ulezachich haguf v'nefesh habahamis v'chelka ba'olam. Only in order to sort out, to refine the body and the animal soul and our part in the world. That's the purpose. The neshama did not come down for itself, but it came down to refine, to leave an impact in the world around you. Sha'al yidei, because through this work, Tafken is Gala HaKavona. That's the way the Eberster's intent for creating the world. In Isava Kadosh Baruch Hu, Liyes Lo Yizbarech Dire B'Tachtonim. Hashem had a desire so that he can have for himself, blessed, a dwelling place B'Tachtonim. So the Eberster sends down the Neshama into this world to the Tachtonim to make him a dwelling place. B'Tachton Shein Tachton Lemata Mimenu. In a low place, there is nothing lower than it. This is this world. And that's why this is the idea that the service of the neshama, when it comes down Lamato, Vayetze Yaakov Gomer Charana, which is going to Charan, who Vayikach me'avnei hamokim, is to take from the stones of the mokim. Gomer. Mokim hu metzias kazu Sha'oir ha'likisha boy hu behelam v'hester. Mokim is such a metzias that the godly light that's in this place is hidden and obscure. So basically, we're going to take mokim. We're going to take place which is the fact that this is a place where is a metzias of world, taking the avnei hamokim, which don't have godliness, and as explained before, that the godliness is only a gematria, it's only berebua, it's only called mokim, because that's the hidden part. But in the world itself, it's oilam helam, you don't see the world. So to take ma'avnei hamokim, mokim hu metzias kazu, it's a place in which the godly is hidden. Ukenal Sivov, and as we said earlier, Sivov, when we say that the name of Hashem, when you double the names that we learned earlier, that comes to the gematria of Mokim. So it represents Havaya, but that only is through Gematria, Kavona B'Zehi. So what we're meaning over here, we're not meaning that the Olam is Hashem. The meaning is Hashem Havaya, who Behelam Behester Behamokim. That means to say that the name of Havaya is hidden and obscure in the place, but in the Gematria, that it's only in a way of a Gematria, that it's only a numerical value, means that he's not openly there. The Hagam Shekol Metzias Hamokim Olam, even though the entire entity, how does anything exist? The entity of the place, the Olam, who Shem Havaya, Sheshem Havaya Mahava Oisei, Tomid Ma'ayin Liyesh. The name of Hashem always creates him constantly from ex nihilo into existence, from nothingness into existence. So what does it mean that there's no Hashem there? Hashem needs to create him all the time. If Hashem doesn't create him, then he wouldn't be existing. He needs to have the creation of Hashem. But still, the way Hashem created it, the way Hashem finds himself in this world, it's in a gematria, it's hidden and obscure. So that's the mokkah. So you're taking ma'avne mokkah. Ubazeh gufa, and within the world itself, you're taking avnei hamokkah. Stones, avnei loshon rabim, plural. Taking, so which means there is fragmentation, it's separation, many canal. Is the the purpose, the goal of the descent of the soul below is is not for the light that extends to the soul through Torah mitzvahs that the soul gets. That's the avodah that the pasuk talks about right away, is that vayikach ma'avnei hamokim is to the avodah vayikach ma'avnei hamokim. Lo kachas es advorim hatachtonim, to take these lower matters, which is haguf v'nefesh habahamis v'chalka ba'olam, his body, his animals, so the portion of the world, to take them vayikach, to take them, to raise them. And you take them, meaning you take control of them. So you dominate. You take them. That he becomes the in charge, he dominates, he rules them. To make from these dvarim tachtonim a dwelling place for Hashem. And just like the Rebbe said before, this is even through mitzvahs. But this control and this revelation, taking the dvarim tachtonim, is even more when it's not even a mitzvah, when it's a davar harishus. Yesh lahoisiv the beinyan habirurim gufa, can add within the idea of the sorting out itself. Yesh yisraim ba'abirur de divre harishus. There is an advantage to the sorting out if you are dealing with optional matters. Al yidei she'oisa oisam l'shem shamayim, through doing them for the sake of heaven. Al habirur the dovorim gashmim, over the sorting out of physical matters. Shal yidei kiyum hamitzvahs, that you do through fulfilling mitzvahs. So even mitzvahs regularly is also being mevader. But the mevader divra rishus is even greater. Kal yidei habirur the divra rishus. When you're sorting out optional matters, which means they're still optional, they're still your actions, they're not mitzvahs. Even when you're taking your ordinary things and you're doing for the sake of heaven, they still remain optional, they don't become a mitzvah. And you're doing it l'shem shamayim, they're still masecho, your actions, kol masecho. Nishlemes yoser hakavona dedira betachtonim. This completes even more the intent of Dira B'Tachtoini. Tachten shein tachten lamata mimenu. It's a lower that's not lower than it, because it's not even a mitzvah. It's your optional matters. It's masecho, and still it's l'shem shemayim. So you're mevarer even in the lowest of level. And based on this, we understand better. This, that the service that the neshama went down below is hivayikach ma'avnei hamokim, is taking ma'avnei hamokim. Why? The mokim u'mitzias kazeh. Mokim is such an entity sheha'oire lekisha boyu behelim vehester kenal. It's a place where the godly light is hidden. It's a gematria. It's hidden. It's obscure kenal. Yes, look, Loimar, we can say Shekoyi beikir, it goes mainly not on regular mitzvahs. I'll leave it on reshus. Shegam leachrei ha'avoda, even after the avoda. Hey, Masech Odom, they stay Masech Odom. So the Rebbe explained over here that the Pasuk talks about, yes, Lechem Lechem Begeliv Shafti B'Sholim. But he is Vayikach Ma'avnei Amokoim. That's his first avodah after is because the avodah is ultimately avodah sabirurim. And the avodah is to take from the mokim, which is a mitzias, a helen, where you don't feel godliness, where Hashem is only through a gematria there, and to reveal it. But ultimately, as the Rebbe brings out, the real revelation is in optional matters, because it's not even a mitzvah. And in Masecha, you also bring down that it should be the L'Shem Shamayim. And this is the ultimate goal of the descent of the neshama into the body. Okay, let's leave it over here. And we'll continue.
Bye-bye.